creepy, and cool TikToks that will blow your mind. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
He thought he had a chance at winning, but as the race kicked off, the skinny American country boy wearing a golf hat was immediately outpaced by every other runner on the field, and he fell embarrassingly far behind. It was strange to see Dave Wattle failing this badly. In his qualifying run, he had tied the 800-meter world record, but after qualifying, his coach wasn't convinced that Dave was taking the position seriously. He refused to take off his golf cap when running after developing a superstition that it helped him run faster. He also had his wedding planned in the 2 months leading up to the Olympics, which took his focus away from training. His coach lamented that he had given up a gold medal for a wife. So Dave, wanting to prove to his coach that he still had what it took to win, ended up pushing himself too hard in training, and he developed tendinitis in his left knee, which completely destroyed his ability to train and his chances of running a record time at the Olympics. But just as it seemed that his coach's words were being proven true, Dave started to realize that while he was definitely slower than he had been in the qualifier, the other runners had started the race far too quickly, and they were gradually starting to fall back. He managed to claw his way back into the pack, and he caught up to Yevgeny Arjanov, who was the favorite to win. But as soon as he did, Arjanov bolted into the lead, leaving Dave behind once again. Dave's knee was burning, and it felt weak, like it could give out at any moment. But he knew that if he was going to have any chance at getting a medal, he'd have to make his final move now.
Stand by for the kick of Dave Waddle. If he's got it, he could make it.
He pulled to the outside of the pack, and he gave it everything he had.
And here he comes. This is the bid for a gold medal of Dave Waddle. The man who came out of nowhere in the U.S. Olympic trials. He came up with 2 bad knees. He couldn't train for weeks. I think he did it!
He beat Arjanov by 0.03 of a second, and he won the gold medal.
It's such a different time now. Today he probably wouldn't beat average college competition with this run. What do you think?
A pilot needs to use the toilet inside the B-2 bomber. It could cost them $23,000 because of this one shocking reason almost nobody knows about. The B-2 Spirit is one of the most advanced aircraft in the world, and it has some crazy distance capabilities. It's designed to fly undetected, capable of completing missions across the globe thanks to its stealth features. The B-2 has even set records for long-haul missions. On one mission, it flew non-stop from the U.S. to Afghanistan with a 44-hour flight, completed the mission, and then turned around to head back in just 34 hours. But how did the crew manage to survive such a long mission without a break? Well, the answer lies in the comfort the B-2 provides to its crew. It's not just an aircraft, it's a flying hotel. There is a bed for resting, a microwave for heating meals, and yes, a toilet which costs nearly $23,000. This toilet is almost identical to what you'd find in any regular bathroom, but it's built with highly specialized design and materials required to ensure it works properly under the extreme conditions of high altitude and long-duration flights. While the aircraft itself costs $2 billion, a small amount of $23,000 is nothing.
So a commercial flight takes roughly 20 hours to Afghanistan from the US. I'm guessing this is the US, right? But the most advanced fighter jet takes 44 hours?
Your family is from India. You have no respect. You have no rules. You think you can push everyone? Push.
You can have some more curry, right?
Yeah, here.
Have some more curry?
To record your tandoori.
Please do. My tandoori.
Yeah, your tandoori sweet.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm American.
So are we.
You're not American.
No? Not American?
Not originally, no. You're from. Yeah.
Get off the bus. Yeah, get off the bus, racist.
She started calling racist slurs to this nice family. Didn't do anything. She doesn't need to be on this bus. She needs to go on the other bus.
So much plastic surgery, she's looking like a mountain lion.
Okay, breaking news. Police have just found cryptic words written on the shell casings used in yesterday's shooting of United Health's CEO, Brian Thompson. These words were deny, defend, and depose. Now, we don't know what that means, but officials are saying that they're looking into whether these words point to a motive related to the insurance company's responses to claims. We also have now found out after an interview with Brian's wife that there were some people that had been threatening him, but she didn't provide any more details than that. As we know more, I'll keep you guys updated.
Can't wait to see what happened next. You know, even the goats need to stay healthy, need exercise every night.
The best meat for muscle building is chicken. The best meat for muscle recovery is beef. The best meat for weight management is turkey. The best meat for immune system support is lamb. The best meat for heart health is salmon. The best food for brain health is tuna. If nature didn't make it, don't take it.
Wait till the vegans hear about this.
The gunman that killed the United Health CEO wrote, defend, deny, depose, on the bullets. This was personal. New York City is offering 10 grand for any information on this guy. You think New Yorkers are gonna give up John Wick for 10K?
I'll fucking kill you.
If anybody saw that guy, no, they didn't. I have a feeling this is just the beginning.
The CEO is basically like a manager hired by billionaires. If you want something like this to matter, you have to go after the shareholders and owners. I'm not saying you have to. You know, the CEO will be just replaced.
What happened last night in South Korea is a reminder of just how quickly things can spiral out of control, all because of one person. In a country that is considered to be among the most democratic in the world, overnight they suspended critical civil liberties and rights through martial law, including freedom of press, freedom of speech, banning political activity, and even the ability to make arrests without proper trial. I mean, this is the country that gave us Squid Game and BTS. Now, luckily, because of the enormous public and political pushback, the martial law was lifted just hours later. And luckily, we didn't get to see the worst case scenario. But it was wild to see just how quickly the military reacted. I mean, we saw scenes straight up out of Hollywood with helicopters landing in sports fields, the public clashing with the military, troops smashing into windows to break into the parliament, all so they could carry out the orders given by one man. And this morning, we are already seeing the regret set in. The president's staff have offered to resign en masse. The country's defense minister apologized to the public and offered to resign as well. Members of the military are to be held legally responsible for carrying out the president's orders. And the president himself is now facing impeachment and removal from office.
Why would the military members be held responsible? Wouldn't they get in more trouble if they didn't follow the orders?
This is the real life of a lower-class worker in Japan. She earns $4,000 a month, but can't even afford to rent a house. In heavy snow, she has to sleep in her car and shiver from the cold. At 6:30 p.m., 27-year-old Nanako just finished work. She is now driving around looking for a place to spend the night. To save money, she buys some near-expiration food to eat for breakfast. Once back in her car, Nanako continues her journey. She has a clear destination in mind. First, the place must have free parking, and second, there must be a public restroom nearby. After parking, Nanako can prepare dinner. Due to the limited space in the car, she usually eats simple food. While waiting for her food to cook, Nanako, tired after a long day, enjoys a hot cup of tea to warm her body. Nanako works as an office worker in Tokyo. Her average monthly salary is $4,000. While that sounds decent, it's still below the average standard. With rising rent prices in recent years, Nanako had no choice but to take out a loan to buy this car. After dinner, Nanako heads to a nearby public restroom to wash up. Once done, she returns to the car and prepares to set up her bed. To fight off the cold weather, Nanako uses a sleeping bag and blankets. Before going to sleep, she charges her phone, but the weather is so cold that Nanako wakes up freezing. Shivering from the cold, she has to get up quickly and make some hot soup. As for her current situation, Nanako admits that life is tough, but she still believes that if she works hard, her life will improve in the future. At 6:15 a.m., Nanako has to drive back to the city for work. Given the cold weather and the long commute, she has no choice but to leave early to avoid being late for work. So after watching this video, what are your thoughts on her lifestyle?
This is what I don't understand. Another post said there's a lot of cheap abandoned house in Japan as low as $10,000. But Nanako, you're beautiful. Get a husband.
The average apple in a grocery store is over a year old.
Are you kidding me?
No, over a year old. We can make something look ripe. We could pick it green in Argentina or even locally, and then throw a gas called ethylene oxide on it, and it'll look like it's ripe. There is no mold, there is no fungus, there are no bacteria. They are perfect. Now, if a mold or bacteria isn't interested in eating those things, why in the world would we put them in our mouth?
The truth is hidden in a plain sight. We are one with the nature. If you want to know more about the herbs from our Creator's garden, this ebook will unveil that for you. Let thy food be thy medicine.
So why is it allowed to be sold? I'm happy it's not happening here in Indonesia.
The three most powerful gods were banned from the Bible. These gods are infinitely more powerful than the God of the Bible.
All right, let's hear it.
First, there's the One, revealed by Jesus in the secret book of John. The One is the true source of everything, even the gods. Compared to the One, the God of the Bible is like an angry toddler.
Seriously, your evidence is a secret book of John? That's just a Gnostic text that is a late fictional narrative. It was universally rejected by the early church because it was written so late and it contains heresy. Jesus did not reveal that. And somehow your claims get even more absurd than that.
Then there's Domadon Doxamedon, the god of gods, revealed in the secret gospel of the Egyptians.
Again, Domadamalam is a false god. Like the other Gnostic texts, it is Gnostic, heretical, and written late. These books do not even come close to meeting the criteria for reliability. The four Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, do meet that criteria. They were written within the lifetimes of those who personally knew Jesus. People tag me in these videos because these Gnostic texts confuse them. This guy still deceives people even though he says stuff like this.
The most powerful God? It's you, it's me, it's us.
Share this around and inform others so I stop getting tagged in videos like this.
Praise the Lord, you're saving a lot of souls, my brother. And what is Nal yapping about? You know, the comic character?
This is an absolutely horrific carjacking attempt in Hamilton, Ontario. You need to share this to everybody to make sure you never open the doors to your vehicle, because this is what can happen to you. This man followed this couple to their home to steal their vehicle. Look at this. Just watch this video.
Got a question?
There's two of them in the vehicle.
Yo, you know Smiley?
So he's trying to get them to open the door. He's going to go back. He sees another vehicle driving by. He's going to try to steal this other vehicle. Look at this. Original victim.
I don't mean you no bother, sir. One question, and I'm out of here. Hey.
Now he's going to start going crazy. Look at this. Here he goes. Pulls out what I think is an extender. Whoever's in the car is trying to get away. Smashing the vehicle. Smashes into the vehicle. This is happening everywhere across the country, and we need to put these thugs in jail.
Wow, something is not right with the victims. He should have pinned him between the two vehicles. I would do that.
You like Mountain Dew? How much you like Mountain Dew? You know how many countries Mountain Dew is illegal in? Let me give it to you. Mountain Dew, which contains BVO, that's linked to potential health risks, is banned in Europe and Japan, but it's legal in US. Let's go to the next one. And Honey Bunches of Oats. These cereals contain BHT, a preservative banned in Japan and EU due to potential carcinogenic properties. But you can buy it in US. Let's go to the next one. Coffee Mate. The coffee creamer contains trans fats, specifically partially hydrogenated oils, which are linked to heart disease. While the US banned trans fats in 2018, products containing them still can be found. Many countries, including Switzerland, Austria, Hungary, Iceland, Norway, and Denmark, have stricter regulations. Next, Thanksgiving's around the corner. stovetop stuffing. This product contains preservatives VHA and VHD, which are suspected to be carcinogenics and impair blood clotting. These preservatives are banned in the UK, Japan, and several other European countries, but available in the US.
Alright guys, so I'm here with Dan, who is an exorcist, so he actually casts out demons from people for a living. Dan, how does someone know if they have a demon or not?
Yeah, good question. We get this a lot. So there's a difference between how a person might feel, you know, regular human emotions and feelings and wants and needs, versus something that's overwhelming, which can be a demonic spirit. So a quick example might be, you know, it's normal to be fearful in a dangerous situation, but if you're just in a shopping center surrounded by people, you know, doing their shopping, and you're overwhelmed by fear and anxiety all the time, then that's much more likely to be a demonic spirit.
Yeah, even in my own case, I used to suffer from obsessive compulsive disorder. So I used to have like intrusive thoughts, just like this constant fear and worry, and get obsessed over things for like all my life. And then when I had this demon cast out of me about 4 years ago, I literally haven't had OCD since. So like, yeah, if you guys out there are experiencing something similar, and obviously there are more examples, but I guess, you know, how can someone out there know that in their particular case, like they might have a demon?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing you can do is just a bit of a self-check. Like, is this what I'm going through unnatural? Is it overwhelming? Do I have no control over it? Is there a voice in my head? Am I seeing things? Am I having sleep paralysis? Am I having these experiences that are supernatural? And is there a lot of fear involved? I would say that's almost always a demonic spirit. It's much more common than you would think. The way to deal with it is through prayer. The only one who can set you free of demons is Jesus. Find a church, find a community of Holy Spirit, born again believers who believe in the gifts of the spirits to come and cast that demon out of you. Receive prayer, and then you'll know, because these things come to the surface. They'll manifest when you're confronted with the name of Jesus. It's like fishing. You don't know a fish is there in the deep dark water until it gets hooked by the bait. And so when you confront it, you hook it on the fishing line, and then you reel it out. That's what it means to cast out a demon.
Yeah, for sure. And Dan's helped me a lot with my own journey. He's had to cast out many demons out of me. So I'll leave his link in the caption here if you want to hit him up for some deliverance. And yeah, bro, thanks for the.
Accept Jesus as your God and Savior. Demon will flee.
Who do you think tried to take you out?
So I'm going to give you some big breaking news, right?
Aaron is 18, he's handsome, he's tall, he's rich.
He's got the whole ball.
He's unleashed in New York City. Are you sure you want to reverse Roe v. Wade now?
I'm going to make this country great again. It's not a great country right now.
It's always a great country.
See,
it's always a great country.
Okay, but I'm good with names, you know.
You are. Tampon Tim was good. Is that?
With Tampon Tim, it's hard to say. There are some, like Comrade Kamala. It's a little hard to say. She's not bad, but when you put the names together, it's a little, you got to be able to pume.
No, you did it. That was the best dodge of the question. You know what I mean? You almost charmed us out of it.
Trying to get out of it. How are we doing so far?
We're doing amazing. So they're making us wrap up. We want you to long.
Give them a little more time. What the hell? These are great questions. What the hell? But they lie. And they know it's a lie. She lied about many things, and she's a liar. I have a hard time doing it to them. And, you know, I'm basically a truthful person. But,
I like Trump. He's fresh and unpredictable. You know, left or right, watch the whole podcast yourself, then form your opinion.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the most amazing archaeological discoveries in history related to the Bible. This is the Merneptah stela. There was a pharaoh in Egypt by the name of Merneptah. He came right after Ramses II. And this stela, this victory statement, comes from 1208 BC. So this thing is over 3,200 years old. And if you look down here, you can see how it's kind of worn more black because people were actually touching the inscription that mentioned that Israel as a nation had been laid waste by Pharaoh Merneptah in 1208 BC. Well, how could that be if the Exodus took place in the 1200s like many people say? The much more consistent date for the Exodus, according to the Bible and archaeology, is the Exodus took place in the 1400s BC, particularly according to the Bible, 1446 BC. That would have given the Israelites enough time to get into the land and become a nation, so later Merneptah could brag that he had beaten them. This is amazing. It's 3,200 years old, and it's got Israel on it.
You know, when people say there's no historical evidence, but things like this exist.
Y'all, the Simpsons predicted that the Anunnaki gods is gonna come back and get us, yo. I need y'all to see this video real quick, yo. This shit was talking about basically the Mayan gods, but the Mayan gods that was pertaining to the... Look at this, look at this. Yo, the giant Nephilim beings coming back, destroying the planet. Look at this, y'all. What? And then look at this. Did y'all see this show? Basically how they put together the same type of people at this big ass rave. Y'all, you know what else this reminded me of? This also reminded me of like some Transformers shit, like how they came down and everything. Yo, like, this is almost on the same type of deal. Look at these beings, y'all. They big as shit. Does this not look like they're preparing for something? Look at this. This is for entertainment purposes only, yo. Oh my God!
Anunnaki gods are just fallen angels in different masks. It's beautiful.
There are 57 alien Nordics that are here on our planet. And these 57 persons, they are on delegation of the Nordic alien civilization. And who are the Nordic alien civilization? They are the Pleiadians, Andromedians, and the Vegans. And these three alien civilizations are like human civilizations, where they look more blonde types with blue eyes, and the Andromedians have more the red types, red hairs. Now, since more than 40 years, there is already here is the delegation to help us with the big problems what we have with the reptilian alien civilizations on our planet. There's already more than 100 years a little war on the go between these alien reptilian civilizations and with the Nordic alien civilizations. Also in all this story is also involved the Greys. They're also very active with human experiments on our planet. If we don't find in a very short time a solution about these conflicts, there's many chances that we're going to have back again a galactic confrontation.
You can tell he's telling the truth because, you know, he's bald with glasses. Oh, don't forget the accent.
Of October, an internet account by the name of Greedy810 and her boyfriend were having a really good time on the Carnival Freedom cruise ship near Cape Canaveral. At the time, everything was going as it should, with the exception that a bird had entered their room.
I gotta catch up, Mom. Oh, they got another one. They got another one.
This is until hundreds of birds start swarming inside of their room.
Man, that was my room full of birds.
Baby, you okay? Baby, where you at? Oh my God, baby, where you at?
Strange, isn't it? But here things take an even stranger turn. Dozens of other videos started popping up all over social media of people seeing the same thing on different cruise ships around Florida. Check this out.
There was so many birds out here, man. I'm talking about they done flew all.
I've never seen this before. What do you think it is?
Swarms of thousands of birds were seen fly around the Serenade of the Seas cruise ship and many others. To make things even stranger, many of them were seen falling from the sky.
Yeah, I never seen like it. What's the bird? It's the moth. Look, the moth, but the moth. They say even the moth. That's what doesn't make sense. I never seen like this. The guy, he said he's never seen this before. He works here. You need to listen. You work here? Yeah, but I never seen like this. Never seen like this. Yeah.
Now, after doing some research, I found out that there was a major storm nearby. When this happens, the air pressure drops and most birds who have sensitive hearing respond by flying as close to the ground as possible. So in this case, the birds were trying to avoid the storm, which makes a lot of sense. Nothing mysterious about it, right? Well, wrong. What makes all of this very strange is that not only birds but insects were both falling from the sky.
That's the moth. The moth. The moth. What's even weirder is that they die fine. They die fine. They die. Huh? That's true.
And both crew members and passengers had never seen anything like this before.
Yeah, they're like, no. You've not seen this before. Yeah. I've never seen like this. I've never seen this before. First time. What do you think it is?
This bizarre phenomenon still remains a complete mystery. And to make things even stranger, this isn't the first time such a thing happens.
Ooh.
But I want to know your thoughts. Have you ever seen anything like this? What do you really think happened on that mysterious night?
I heard they use some kind of radiation in the sky to manipulate weather.
Why is being alone so powerful? Most people fear solitude. They sometimes think it's a punishment or a void, but that's wrong. Being alone is where the true power lies. Because when you are alone, you are free from the noise, the distractions, the disappointment, the opinions of others, especially the drama. Being alone, it's just you, your thoughts, and your potential. Truth is, in solitude, you sharpen your mind. You will learn what truly matters, and you just stop relying to others and start building yourself. Being alone is not a weakness, it's a forge. And you will come up stronger than those people who cling to the crowd. The only reason why people fear being alone, because it forces them to face themselves. But those who embrace it, they grow into something unstoppable. Like someone who doesn't need anyone, yet commands everyone. I think it's time for you to find your solitude and always face yourself. Salam alaikum.
That is exactly how pretend that you are powerful being alone. We humans need people in our lives, the right people, and we need Christ.
Traffic jam through the ice wall. This is like the happiest moment of my life. Hello. Need me to wheel you out of here? Like you're in a predicament. Okay. You take care. You take care. What a place to just be like rolling through in your wheelchair. I respect his hustle. I had to hook him up. I'm literally chilling. Hi. Hi. How are you? I'm good. I was just trying to monologue. Me from Addis. Oh, nice. I don't understand at all. We are chilling under a glacial dome right now. Yeah. With new friends. New friend. No, I'm old friend. Old friend, yeah. We met in Dasu. Yes, yeah. Dasu guest house. Was that where I stayed? Yeah. One picture. One picture? Yeah. One video. A video? Yeah. Oh, we should have walked? Yeah, walk. Check. Come check. Okay, thank you.
I'm glad he's having a blast. Premium content, brother.
2015, a comprehensive project began aiming to scan the Egyptian pyramids. And just days after it started, a scan on the Great Pyramid of Giza revealed an interesting anomaly. The goal of the project was to look for hidden tunnels and chambers. So when an infrared scan had picked up 3 blocks that were up to 6 degrees hotter than the adjacent stones, everybody was excited. Egypt's Minister of Antiquities, Mamdouh El-Damati, stated at the press conference that the heat anomaly indicates air behind the blocks, speculating that it could be a hidden chamber or tomb.
So not one person on earth today knows who built the pyramids.
I'm going to show you a new video from the same guy who says that he has been beyond the ice wall, and what he says in it I thought was pretty disturbing, so it's for you to decide if he is telling the truth or not.
I'm currently under a lavish blizzard protection cloak. It's meant to shield me from the mind-reading capabilities of the Asgardians. They are not to be trusted. Listen to me. The Middle Earth is dangerous, sure. People hide things from you, sure. But the Asgardians are far worse. Far worse. Don't let anything fool you. Don't let anything fool you. They've teamed up with the evil lizards living in Middle Earth. The lizard people. There's a saying, you must say it. And if they can say it back, they're not a lizard. You can find the saying.
I don't understand what I've seen.
The Simpsons know why NASA stopped exploring the oceans, and it's terrifying. NASA started exploring the deep sea in 1958, but completely stopped in 2014 and suddenly started putting 100% of their efforts into space exploration and trying to get us off the planet. People began wondering why they made this rapid change, but no one had a clue. That was until just a few days ago when a NASA head engineer had been fired and decided to speak out about it. What he said is terrifying. He explained that in reality, NASA had nearly 68% of our oceans completely explored and mapped out. That was until they stumbled across something unusual. A cave opening beside Hawaii to a massive underwater ravine, which is nearly 50% deeper than the Mariana Trench. NASA then developed advanced submarines capable of going that deep and submerged. On their way down, they saw many weird creatures which exist nowhere else. And strangely, all the species they saw were 3 times larger than usual. They then continued down. That is when they saw yet another enormous cave. When they pointed the submarine flashlight inside, a massive eyeball was staring straight into their souls. The eye was the size of a house, and nothing like they had ever seen before. The scientists got terrified and headed back to the surface. The engineer shared some photos of this too shocking for TikTok. To see them, you can press share photos and more or comment view photos.
Yep, this is 100% true. Trust me, bro.
Nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna know. They're gonna know. How would they know? How would they know? How would they know? I can't. I can't. Oh my God.
Have a look at the Statue of Liberty.
Your mind will betray you, okay? Your mind doesn't want what's best for you. Your mind wants survival, that's it. But it doesn't want you to thrive. It doesn't want you to accomplish your goals. It doesn't want you to try something new. It doesn't want you to move to a new state. It doesn't want you to take any risks. Your mind is not interested in you thriving. Your mind is interested in you surviving. And sometimes survival is not what's best for you because your mind is operating on a software that is, evolutionarily speaking, very, very outdated. It is trying to protect you from ever being outcast from a tribe. It's trying to protect you from taking a risk that it thinks is going to put your life at risk. But a lot of the time, it's wrong. Moving states is not going to put you at risk, but to the evolutionary mind from human history, it thinks, well, if I'm not around the people that I know and love, then I'm on my own. And if I'm on my own, I might die, because that's how humanity used to work. Your mind isn't interested in you doing what's best for you. Your mind is interested in keeping you alive.
I surrender my mind to the Lord Jesus Christ. The Holy Spirit will guide me.
The aliens will be here any minute, and I have a PSA to the world. Do not pay your rent. Do not pay any bills. Do not pay for anything today. Don't pay for electricity. Don't pay for water and power. Do not pay your bills today. Why? Because if the aliens come tonight and they just take everybody, what's the point? Currency might not mean anything. Elon Musk, the richest man on our teeny little planet, our teeny, who knows? We might be in the fingernail. We might just be an atom in the fingernail, a molecule, a cell in the fingernail of a giant being. What are we? We're about to find out tonight. This is crazy. Look at my hair. I've washed it 5 times and it sticks up. Why? Because it's going up. It's sticking up the radio antennas. I'm getting beep, 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 beep. That's right. They are talking to me through my brain. I'm not going insane, even though people in the comments might say, Sam, you're losing it. No, I'm just getting prepared to go up there. Are you guys ready? There's a battle in the sky tonight, December 3rd, tonight. Battle in the sky. Who will win? My money's on us, maybe, because that's what movies tell us. We always win in the movie, and the Americans always figure it out. Global patriots. What do you think? Are these aliens here to free us all? Because we're in a simulation? This is getting crazy. I love all my loyal patriots. Please, come see me at the Hollywood Improv tomorrow night. I will be there hosting on the main stage, and God willing, I will be okay. I won't be taking anybody's drinks, and I'll be watching my back, and I'll be there with security. But I love all my loyal Patriot followers. Secret Service Sam out. Samson for president.
Well, they better hurry up. I gotta work tomorrow.
So these big banks are going to come in and say, oh, let's rebuild Ukraine, $400 billion. What if we can't pay back? Don't worry, we're going to get your natural resources. You got plenty. Hey, we got to get this Putin knocked out of the way. Why? Because the number one country in the world with natural resources is not us. It's Russia. $75 trillion. And there's a man in the way. You know what his name is? Putin. That guy's got to get out the way so we can go in Russia and do business. It's a lot of money. The more you and I know motives, the more we can understand why every one of these guys are presenting their argument the way they are. And then you will be responsible on whose motives you believe and whose motives you don't. But at the end of the day, history will tell us whose position was right and whose wasn't. Sometimes we have to wait a year or two and sometimes decades to find out if you were right or others were right. That takes a while until we find that out.
You know, Western power has always been wrong because the center of their motive is greedy, funneled by wanting a lot of money at the cost of humanity.
When God said, what do you want? He said, I want wisdom. He says, I'm going to give you all the wisdom. And Solomon was the one that built the temple. Was he given part of that wisdom, maybe not the technology, but the wisdom to create these mega structures, putting these giant blocks into place? Because, I mean, the Temple Mount, they have these huge stones.
Yeah. We talk a lot about Solomon and the mystery schools of Babylon, right? So one of the things, the secret societies that we see now, the Masons, the Illuminati, these secret societies, they are charged with carrying this sacred knowledge. This is part of what they do. They hold this secret, sacred knowledge. Solomon himself strayed into the mystery school space. He was trying to acquire all of this knowledge. And at that point in time, the ideas of the mystery schools of Babylon were actually real things. It's an interesting concept here. Did he get some of that knowledge when he asked for wisdom? Or did he acquire some of that knowledge through the mystery schools of Babylon? Because this is supposed to be, according to them, take what it is, but they're supposed to hold pre-flood secrets that were passed down because they ascribed their, quote, theology or their mantra stuff to essentially lines up as either a Nephilim or a Watcher Angel. These are these people that had these ideas of construction. They had gifts in construction.
This is some black magic shit I learned from my friend, and I'm only calling it black magic because I don't have a better word for it. So we were at a club, and this club has like 2 stories, and we were on the top floor. There's people dancing, having fun, and he pulls out about like $40, 500 Indonesian rupiah. And then he holds it for like 20 seconds and like chants something over it. And then he throws it to the crowd. And everyone's running around catching it, fighting each other to catch it. Even the security guards like digging through the floor to just like get the money. Why is this witchcraft? Because when he was holding the money, he meditated upon the fact that all his bad luck, all his bad energy, anything like that goes to the money. And by throwing it to the people and letting them catch it, and essentially letting them have the money to keep, they don't know this. But if they take the money, then they take on that person's bad luck and they get compensated with money. So yeah, now you might have $10, but you also have this person's bad luck. Why is this important? Because whenever I see money on the floor and I can just pick it up and keep it for myself, I don't do that. It's not mine. Not my money, not my bad energy that might be on there. Not always, but like, I'm not risking it.
Interesting. Well, look at her. The eyes are the window to the soul. If you know, you know.
All right, speaking of time travel, remember how we talked about a while ago, Trump being a time traveler?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, there's this guy that was in London, England. Basically, there's this street named Trump Row, and it's right across the street from Russian Row or something like that. But then there's a church right next to Trump Row, built in the 1400s. The statue looks exactly like Trump's head.
It can be no other than the Donald himself. How did they know?
The other one looks like Barron.
Oh, shit.
No, go look at it.
Yeah, let me see it again.
I thought that's where it was going.
It's so scary.
Get off the crack pipe.
Destiny emailed me her spooky story time about joining the Freemasons and her initiation. And her name has been changed. She's anonymous. She said she chose to be anonymous because she's worried about them finding her and finding out that she spoke on the subject. She's also sharing this story as a warning if you are thinking about joining the Mason. She said absolutely do not join. She also warned me about sharing this story and said it was okay if I don't want to because the Freemasons don't like it when they're spoken badly about. That said, I would like to thank Beyonce and I'm going to share the story anyway. Destiny has always known that she's had Freemasonry in her ancestral line. She is in New Zealand. In New Zealand, they allow women to join the Freemasons. In the US and other countries, it's called the Eastern Stars. Freemasons have an extremely rigorous vetting process where they want to know if you're right for the organization and if they are right for you. That said, she contacts them. She gets in contact with a women's only lodge. The lodge is about 7 hours from where she lives in New Zealand. And in the 8 months leading up to when she visited the lodge, they were asking her all kinds of questions about her worldview, her beliefs. And she says in retrospect, what she thinks they do to entice people to join is parrot their worldview. So she would say, oh, I'm all about love and light. And they would say, we're all about love and light. She said, although she's not religious, she does believe in Jesus and a God or a creator. And she told them this, they mimicked it back. And she said that one of the tenets of joining is that you have to believe in a power above yourself. She said when she was initially going through this vetting process, she didn't realize they were using this mimic or parroting technique on her. And she genuinely thought it was a good fit. So when they invited her to visit the lodge, she got in the car without question and drove 7 hours away to visit. She says when she got there, she met with a junior and senior member and they led her through the building into a kitchen. The building was unremarkable. It was old. It hadn't been updated in years. And there was really nothing special about the building itself. The walls were lined with group photos and pictures of famous Masons, as well as the acknowledgement of rights. She said all Freemason lodges have acknowledgements of their individual rights. She also noticed in various places the Seal of Solomon, which she says she knows the lore of Solomon and he was given the power to command demons. I Googled it. This is what it looks like. Her, the junior member, and the senior member are talking in the kitchen for a little while. She brings up the Seal of Solomon and they say, oh, most new initiates aren't as well read as you. She remembers the junior initiate saying, we've never had a new initiate do this before, and then she blacks out. She comes to and she realizes she's been in a trance for about an hour, and as she's looking at the two members, she sees them, but she's being spoken to by demons who have taken their form. She said that she realized that they realized that she could see the entities that were actually talking through these people to her, and the senior member leaves the room. She said she was struck with the overwhelming urge to tell the truth. It was like she couldn't lie. They asked her if she had any concerns, and she said she needed to know if her soul was safe. They were like, what do you mean by that? And she said, I need to know if this organization is in line with my morals. And they said, what do you mean by that? She brings up the fact that she saw entities speaking through these people as she's talking to them. And they say, yeah, when you join, you have an angelic being that attaches itself to you. And she says, well, what is your definition of angelic? They tell her that if she chooses to stay with them and go through the process, her angelic being will ultimately help her reach the highest level of consciousness and help her reincarnate not on this earth. She was also a musician at this point, and they promised to connect her with all kinds of well-connected people in her country to help further her career. They have her sign an oath, and she does, but she realizes that she's not going back, and she says that she thinks that they realized it too. When she gets into her car, she FaceTimes her mom, and her mom immediately says, what's wrong with your face? She says she could see her face in the camera, and it seemed like her face was morphing. When she tried to talk about the experience to her mother, she said it was like there was a spiritual hand over her mouth preventing her from speaking. At this point, I feel like it's important to tell you guys, she told me the story in a voice memo that she emailed me, and after she told me this part, she went quiet, and I could just hear her breathing. It was so strange. It was almost like she was struggling to get the words out. She said after that point, when she went back to her town, she started having all kinds of intrusive thoughts that she's never had before. One's telling her to unalive herself, and just very, very dark, depressing things that she never experienced before. So she knew she needed to get help. She went to a local healer. Local healer tells her that she has an entity that's attached itself to her. The healer does some kind of ritual, she didn't tell me what, to get the being to unattach. She goes to work the next day, but she's feeling completely sick. She gets up to go to the bathroom at one point, and as she's closing the door to the bathroom, she hears one of her coworkers scream. So she leaves the bathroom, she goes to her coworker's office, and her coworker is like just ghost white, and she says, what happened? And her coworker said, I just watched you walk past my door in the hallway and I saw something follow you. She says in her line of work, it is completely unprofessional to talk about things like this, and she had never told her coworkers about what she went through at the lodge because she wasn't able to talk about it. So at that point, she knew that she needed more help. She felt like this thing was still attached to her. So she goes to a priest. The priest gives her a prayer. They say the prayer together. She goes to the bathroom afterward, and she said it was like she watched her face morph again in the bathroom of the church. Destiny also sent me all kinds of information about this prayer and Mason rituals and rites. She said that she wanted to share her story to A, warn people not to join, and B, if anybody needs help getting out, she said that she could be a potential resource for that, and I could forward her. To be honest, I don't really want to be the middleman, so if you want her to reach out to you, maybe just like leave a comment, and then I can let her know that that's how we're doing this. This is page 1 and 2 of the document of the prayer of release that she sent me, so you can read this and pause if you need to. But she said that she believes the Masons speak in opposites, so when they say light, they mean darkness, and they believe that Lucifer is the light bearer. She does say she feels much better now, and although she's not successful as a musician, she feels like she made the right decision and has no regrets. Keep sending me your spooky scary stories. I'll keep adding them to this playlist, and there's polls on my Insta every day where you can vote on the next story.
Wow, she speaks so fast. You know what? Well, that she believed in Jesus and went to get help from everyone but him.
You can get addicted to peace, and you can also get addicted to chaos. So the desire for something more shocking, more stunning grows because you're developing a habit of needing that shot, if you will.
I hate chaos, but I'm surrounded by it. Supposedly, Chrono Pfizer can time travel from the past and future, but I call cap.
You won't believe it. In an unexpected scene captured near an old air raid shelter, a man stumbled upon something truly bizarre. His camera focused on a massive cave opening, and what emerged left him speechless. From the darkness of the cave, a pack of goats began to file out, but they weren't wandering aimlessly. Leading the procession was a lone dog, confidently guiding the herd like a seasoned commander. The goats followed in perfect formation, their disciplined march resembling a well-rehearsed routine. The man couldn't believe his eyes. How could one dog single-handedly control such a large group of goats? This wasn't just an unusual sight. It was a display of extraordinary leadership by man's best friend. Who trained the dog? Why were the goats so obedient? This scene raises so many questions and leaves viewers marveling at the mysterious bond between animals.
Bro, it's a farmer's flock watched by the dog.
How Bigfoot could be real. This is a Joe Rogan theory. Like, this is his own theory. It's not on a level of how we thought. His theory explains that Bigfoot wouldn't be real almost as a physical thing, but what if it exists on a mythical level? Where it's like this. Every time people say they seen ghosts or they seen something weird or scary, when does it happen? At night. Now at night, what happens? Our body naturally goes into fear and anxiety, especially when it's dark. And that's our survival instinct, because early Neanderthal eras, we can't see past darkness, and there would be a lot of predators. That's why we have to keep ourselves safe with fire. Now check this out. Our brains and our consciousness, right? What if, because we're put into a state of anxiety and fear, it accesses, just like nightmares and just like DMT when you're sleeping, it accesses your brain to another reality where you can see and emerge it with almost the spirit realm or like another dimension where these things do exist. And it's weird because, like, what if the ability to see, it's just like a chemical thing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I read stuff about that too.
So it's like the theory that there used to be something like a human, but not quite. Early Christmas celebration in Indonesia. You know, the biggest Islamic country in the world. Celebrate Jesus. Beautiful.
And do I spit or do I rinse after I've brushed my teeth?
Spit. So you should never rinse your mouth out with water after you brush your teeth. So brush, 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 spit into the basin, and that's it. Reason being, again, going back to my sunscreen analogy, imagine you spend 2 minutes putting all this lovely sunscreen all over your skin to then just go and have a shower right before you go into the sun. So with the toothpaste, you spend 2 minutes putting all of that on your teeth, and then if you rinse it, then you're actually removing all of that goodness from your teeth and gums, and it's kind of like you haven't done anything.
What? So when I wash my hands, am I supposed to just leave all the soap on so I don't get real, of all the cleanliness?
2 months she put castor oil in her eye, and she went to have her cataract operation, and the doctor said, you don't need to be operated on, it's gone.
Okay.
Now, obviously, if the cataract's been there a while, it might take a little longer, but we've seen people break up bone spurs. And a funny story, I was in Dublin airport waiting for my pickup, and a man came up and he said, "Are you Barbara O'Neill?" I said, "I am." He said, "I've got a story for you." He said, and he looked late 50s, all his ligaments in his hand were shrinking, and his hand was coming like a claw, and he heard about the castor oil, so he wore castor oil pack on his hand every night. For a month, he said, "Look, it's gone." He said, "I just want to thank you."
Interesting. So amazing properties to that. We talked about cayenne pepper and turmeric, curcumin. We already touched on this Celtic salt. Okay, one more.
Barbara O'Neill is a beautiful soul and a healer.
Power makes men very attractive to women, but power doesn't make women attractive to men. And that's a big difference. If you looked at socio-biological differences between men and women, the correlation between socioeconomic success and sexual success for men is 0.7, which is a walloping correlation. It is the biggest predictor of male success on the mating side by a huge margin. The relationship for women is 0.
Say it louder for the boss babes in the back.